What's up, poker people? This is Funchampion back again with the hand reading series. Today is day 14 of 66 days that we are doing, and let's get this thing started right away with our tools and stuff. Let's go.
In a row of hand reading. Really getting a lot out of this. I'm feeling really good, pretty confident about my game. Looking forward to getting back to the table.
Yeah, indeed. I've noted a few changes that we are doing, the way we are playing tournaments and playing hands. Also, I think it is setting some expectations while we are even reviewing our own hands. At least I'm reviewing my hands with the intent of understanding and carrying forward a range, pre-flop to flop to turn and to river, while I'm doing my own study and my own check. Even when I replay a hand while I'm playing, just to see the action, I try and quickly populate in my head what are the best hands he could have, and what percentage of his entire range are those best hands. So that is a small change I am inculcating in my thought process. It would be interesting, to read and to talk to other people who might have followed this. So probably in a few days, probably by the time we get to 20ish day, we can have few of you join the session and talk about some differences or some changes you have made in your study process, your review process. So
hand reading. Hopefully to my
let's
Echo Dot,
continue
I
with
have
this one.
right across the hand. I realized that hey, I might end up doing an old hand, once again. Hand number 878-455-64.
All right, all the
And
good
a
stuff,
little
we'll
bit
skip
here.
it. Let's go.
A 3 big
I think
blind
this
bet.
also should
I
be
should raise
repeated
it a
in
little
the
bit more.
template, right?
But that's cool. So we're looking at the villain's range right here. We can see it's only 34 hands, but he's a 38-29. He's a very loose, aggressive player. So we 4x 3 bet over a min open from a lag. What were his stats?
शुभम झा, अकॉर्डिंग टू माय नॉलेज हिंदी की कोई बुक तो नहीं है, बट इफ आई वर टू जस्ट recommend you anything in Hindi, I think PC Poker, done by Sanjay Taneja. You can also search it on Nine Stacks channel. They have a lot of content which is prepared and presented in nice, simple Hindi. So probably you can follow that as well. But book, I really don't know or remember of any that I've heard. So sorry about that. Maybe you can reach out to Sanjay sir and have a talk with him, like if there are uh, any books or any reference materials in Hindi. But I understand what you're saying. Like there's not much in local languages. Probably you can take the lead and start. Teachers, so teachers. I don't know about teachers, but yeah, you can talk to Sanjay sir because he does a lot of videos for new players. नए प्लेयर्स के लिए इंट्रोडक्शन वाले वीडियोस, समझाने वाले वीडियोस, कैसे खेले, आरएनजी क्या होती है, एंड ये ऐसे सारे वीडियोस पी से पोकर पे है. सो प्रॉब्ली वो आप देख सकते हैं. वो सारे वीडियोस हिंदी में जहाँ तक मैंने फॉलो किया है. तो प्रॉब्ली यू कैन चेक इट आउट. All right, so let's continue with this
again. 38-29 over 34.
38-29. Wow, lose aggressive. Very interesting player type.
And he calls. So let's see what range he has right here. First he opened and then just called. We're probably going to take out aces, kings, and queens from this loose. Maybe even jacks.
Anytime,
we'll keep jacks in. You can
Happy
often
to
see. Let's start with the 15% range. We'll whittle it down a little bit. So he's super loose aggressive. He's opening and then he's 4-betting aces, kings, and queens is my guess. He's possibly 4-betting ace, king suited. What's his 3-bet is 0 so far, and I don't know what his 4-bet is. Let's see his 4-bet total. Nothing so far. Just don't have enough hands on the guy. So I'm going to only put the queens are better in his 4-betting range. Everything else can be calling, especially he's calling out of position right here. 6-5, let's not go that low. Let's give him a few suited aces right here. Give him all the Broadway, all the suited Broadways, and let's not give him those two bad ones. Ace Jack offsuit, yeah, I can see that calling. Ace 10 offsuit as well, but I won't give him offsuit connectors and stuff in his 3-bet calling range. So you got to think about what this is, 3-bet calling range. From his perspective, we could be 3-betting with like pocket nines or eights right here just to try to steal. He could be calling with these weaker Broadways,
Mm.
not the super weak Broadways, but some of the weaker ones. And these are suited, of course, which people do often call with those. At least one street they'll call to see the flop. He's loose aggressive, likes to see flops and stuff, so we'll do that. Look at that. He's pretty flop honest when he's making C bets. Folding 100% 1 out of 1. This guy might be pretty fit or fold post flop, so that'll be interesting to see what happens with the flop. We're 3.
All right. My range assignment is pretty similar to what they did, but I think if a loose aggressive player is opening a lot of hands, they are also defending a lot of hands and not folding the suited nines, in my opinion. Again, this could be a very different strategy where anybody does not defend these hands but tends to defend these hands. So that could be just a difference in assumption. Suited connectors, okay, somebody likes playing suited connectors in a 3-bet pot, they'll choose these, but I think most people might even continue with these hands. All right, let's continue.
Betting a full 4x feels like I might kind of want him to fold. I'm going to give myself 10s here. Yep. So if we do have 10s, we have 65% equity versus this range because, of course, you know, as it stands, we beat all of his pocket pairs. We're currently ahead of all of his non-paired hands. He's ahead of us with only one hand, and we chop with that. So we have pretty good equity right here. Things are looking well. But I think, let me see, 7-6. I think oftentimes these kinds of players, look how big his stack is. Okay, he has a full 3x stack. That means he has, I don't know if he's been playing well, but he's been winning a lot of pots, doubled up and then tripled up, or
Wow,
just tripled up, whatever.
that's interesting aspect, especially when we are early in the game and you see someone who has triple up. The approach when we go against them and when they are loose aggressive, sometimes all right, there are two different thought processes in my head. One is they are so good at taking spots and probably um, charging or going aggressive with their draws, and when they hit them they encash big. It could be that, or it could be such that they are just one of those guys who just inflate, and just the pot becomes so big pre-flop and they just jam and end up making their hand, which is not really the most optimal play. But those plays get rewarded by somebody who also likes to gamble and is in uh, is in a heads up situation with you. So early stage, only two kinds of players I feel double up and triple up like that. One who are like really good with their game, and the other kind are the ones who are willing to gamble. The ones who are conservative, ones who probably play small pots with small hands and would like to keep the pot small, don't double up or triple up as frequently as these guys. Less frequency. So it starts. It is a polar range of players who are sitting with 2x or 3x stacks in tournament structure especially. And about cash games, I'm not so sure what is the dynamics in terms of cash games. Again, a loose aggressive player would translate into somebody who plays a lot of hands and are aggressive with it. Yeah, again, it could be really good players. Like everybody starts when they learn with they start playing tight and aggressive, then they mix it with tight and passive little bit, based on player profiles of their opponents. And after a certain junction in learning, I see that people open up their ranges. People start playing hands that they are not comfortable playing. For example, let's open up the equilab, and let me show you a little bit what I mean by. All right, so let's say, yeah, this as you can see, this is R01 in my case. which means this is revision number one. I've been working, and this is not updated, so you guys are seeing something that I that existed a few days ago or a few weeks ago. So this is the range which is something that we can expand upon when we build over such a tight range to begin with. Maybe initially you just play, this much of a range, UTG, and when you are comfortable playing this, you know how to play king 10. It's pretty close and pretty natural progression, probably to expand on this edge and slowly put in combos in your opening range, because you just don't want to fold like 90% of hands in the early position. Probably want to open at least a few more, just to take a shot at the blinds, or to even look at a flop and play post, because let's face it, these are not hands that are really bad. It's just that they are not super nutty, like probably not as good or as comfortable as you would feel with ace queen and ace jack. And about feeling comfortable, there's a whole different section for it. I'm just using it because that's the language all the new players use like me. But then there's a star mark on that comfortable, and we'll talk about it loads later. So suited nines, and when we start filling in some suited aces with the implied odds in our opening range, that's when we start opening up in terms of going from tight to you know a less tight of a player. And when probably you get so comfortable that you're opening all of this from your early position, that's when you start really, probably even something like this. If you start opening like this, you are absolutely going towards, yeah, suited aces and suited nines. What I meant is suited nines, in the sense all the suited 9 plus. So 10 9 suited, jack 9 suited, queen 9 suited, king 9 suited are the suited nines. And the suited aces means any ace which is suited, ace x suited, if you want to hear it that way. All right, just a shorter way of remembering hands: suited aces, suited nines. Abhishek, that is a good catch though. But yeah, so if I were to, like, that's a small tip I learned from one of the videos that I was watching. If we were to quickly memorize what hands you're opening from particular position and say this is your range, instead of saying I open everything king 8 suited plus, queen 8 suited plus, jack 8 suited plus, and all these all of these hands, instead of that you can just say you open everything suited 8s and of suited 9s plus. So that makes it so much easier to talk about our range. And also you can say king plus, king suited plus 1, ace x of plus 1, ace suited ace plus 4, or whatever. So you can remember, like, you are opening suited 8s, and plus 4 means 7 6 5 4. So ace 4 suited is also in our open range. And also the pocket pairs are pretty easy to remember, 6s plus or whatever. So all right, that's my point. When we start opening ranges, and when we start opening ourselves to more and more hands in being included in the range, that's when we start going from tight to loose, and we start exploring the post flop world in that aspect. Now somebody who is 38, coming back to the discussion in hand, somebody who is 38 29 is loose because they are opening 38 or calling, getting their chips in 38% of the times, and 29, which means they are also aggressive with 29% of their hands. So just looking at it, 29 is a huge percentage. These are the hands that they contribute. This is the amount of hands that they contribute their own chips voluntarily into the pot, and they are into the pot like 38% of the times, which is huge. So this much is their board coverage. So either a good player can manage this, or somebody who is completely new and thinks that, okay, king 4 suited is good enough, any king is good enough. That's, if you think like that, then probably you are in trouble. But you will still represent same similar percentage as a good player. So that's probably some kind of a
whatever. And so he could be on like
Paradox.
runner's high and is opening and calling wide.
Hmm.
Actually, come to think of it, he could be calling pretty wide right here. Let's give him down to that. Not all the aces, but let's keep him there. Let's keep those in. Let's keep some of these suited two gappers in. People do sometimes call with those, but he could be on runner's high, winner's tilt, that kind of a thing, and just playing
Hmm.
hands that he shouldn't be playing. So let's give him, and that
All right. So probably this is one of the things that we are going to address in the mental champion discussion. The winner's tilt, where we chip up early in the game, and the most common thing is, oh, I double up very early in the game because some stupid player just jams and I have aces and I call and stuff like that. And what's the background music on you use on my stream? Oh, I use Stream Beats. I can put the link in description. Just give me a sec. There is a online, link for it. Ooh, my bad. Copy. Let me post the link right away because I'm always happy to share the good work that people do. Credits of music to the amazing Harris. Hello. Let's go. Here's the link. Enjoy. All right.
that feels like a really wide range. What is it exactly? 19.3 and 256 combos. That is a really wide range for calling a three bet. But as we saw yesterday, man, we get some crazy 19.3. 19.3. We get some crazy wide callers of three bets.
Again, slightly touching up on that off-topic question, the background music, I have been hunting for good background music to play and to listen to, calming music, nothing that gets you amped up and yeah, I want to get all in. Nothing like that. It just needs to be calm enough so that we can be in our thought process, we can be in a relaxed state of mind and still be active. It shouldn't be like those zen musics which put you to sleep essentially. So I felt these lo-fi beats, stream beats, kind of keep me in a groove and keep looking at stuff. And now I have a lot of favorites in those lo-fi beats, and every single lo-fi beat sort of triggers a few things in my head. So probably if you have a set music like that, or at least a list of songs that you would like to, or beats that you would like to listen to, I recommend you put those on while studying as well. A small tip that helps recollect better while you're playing.
Cold calling three bets too, that kind of stuff. It can happen. So as of right now, we're going to put them on that. We're going to give us the two middle tens there for 65% equity. Let's see. Whoops. Let's see what happens. Ace 9
All
8,
right, you're welcome,
Diamond
Rishabh.
Heart Club.
Hmm.
So our pocket tens, he has plenty of aces in his range, but a lot.
Again, just a closure line. In that link that I shared, there's a album which is called High at Planetarium, and that's probably the first and my favorite of discoveries of that channel. So enjoy.
Lot of non-ace hands, and so we're currently ahead of a lot of his range
All
still,
right,
but
thank you so
just
much,
barely,
Rishabh.
53% equity. We're a chop basically at this point. But let's see what happens. We have position, that's a good thing, and he looks to be flop honest. So even if I do have pocket tens here, this is
Wait a second.
almost a mandatory.
We are talking about being flop honest and somebody who is lose aggressive and is flop honest, which means we have a serious opportunity of getting ISO'd or getting into a heads up pot with them and see betting most of our range, if not our entire range, to actually go in. And if they are folding like 60 or 50, 60% of the times, they are being honest on the flop because the maths of hitting a flop is that you miss a flop completely 33 66% of the times. So if they're only connecting with the flop 33% of the times, and if they're not going to continue with the bottom pair on a rainbow board, when we charge the flop, that's where we end up taking a pot with their call and the blinds and a decent pot. even if we don't have an ace, probably even we have king queen in our hand, we c bet and we get the pot down so many number of times, exactly 6 out of 10 times or such. So that's an interesting concept which again we can develop by observing people's games. Like anybody 3 bets small, are they calling? Anybody 3 bets big, are they calling? At the same time, anybody c bets small, are they calling? And anybody c bets big, are they calling? If they are overfolding to pot c bets is also an interesting thing, because these days I'm observing in the late stages of the game, we are seeing a lot of potting on the flop, and that's just if you haven't touched any of the flop, or if you don't have the top pair or the second pair, you should just fold, kind of a message on the flop, which is interesting. And I have been, being slightly brave, calling or even jamming those pot size bets and getting huge pots down with folds from their side. So those pot size bets need not work all the time, uh, and whenever they work, they take down a good pot. But they're also putting a lot at stake. But people just aren't willing to risk it uh, until up to that level, especially in the late stages of a tournament. So that seems to be a good exploit in the field, where people are just waiting. People are seeing that they are 40 out of 100 and 50 are paid. They don't want to risk too much at that stage when they have second pair or even third pair, sorry, third pair or even second pair on the board. So that is an interesting aspect to observe, how flop honest, how flop bluff heavy, how flop bets are flying through their stacks. So that's an interesting aspect that I'm starting to notice. So probably I'll mention it in my takeaway sheet. Let's go. You guys see the takeaway sheet that we are noting in? All right. No, you guys don't see it yet. Notes are on. Okay, I'll have to reopen notes for it to show on stream. What? What is happening? Okay, that is strange. Hold on one sec. Game driver is ready. My computer is saying I don't want a game driver. All right, it's just not showing on the screen. But you guys have to just trust me that I'm noting it down. Uh, Flop honest c bet uh, call less than 33% of times. C bet themselves less than 50% of times. So we can say they are fairly flop honest in that case, if that's what's happening. No, system did not hang. Is just
c-bet spot.
yeah.
I would say we've got to at least rep that ace. He could be checking. I'm sorry. He could be min opening and then calling all those cards that we saw that completely whiffed. There's a lot of draws that he has here, some backdoor flushes, but lots of straight draws, gutters, and stuff. But we have to throw out that bet. Rep the strong ace pre-flop, rep hitting the ace on this flop, and get him off of his hand. If he has any kind of, if he possibly has a weaker ace and could be scared of us, it's possible. 290. What is that? 290 divided by 435. Come on. Feels like two thirds. Yep, 2/3 pot exactly.
Okay, here we see. Sorry, my bad, guys. I wasn't closing it completely. So today's takeaway is our opponent flop honest in terms of c bet? Do they call less than 33% of times, or at least you can have a you know you can review their past spots that they have played and see if they call enough, like 10 hands if they have played, and if you're observing their game, and if they're not calling, they're folding quite a lot of hands on a flop c bet, they're probably flop honest. And if they are not c betting more than 50% of the times, again they are probably again flop honest, even if they are being the pre-flop aggressor. They're checking to you in position. Like, let's not complicate things right now, let's not talk about position right away, but just the fact that how they are uh, c bet calling and c bet betting themselves on the flop, what percentage of times, basis basis that we can make some assumptions about how they play, how honest they are about hitting the flop and just betting the range.
Oh, and then he makes a min raise here, huh? Ah, he could be on. Well, he is pretty flop honest in this instance. So when he check min raises, it feels like, it really does feel like value. It feels like a set, possible two pair. He does have ace nine, ace eight in his range, and those ones, because we three bet pre-flop, he can expect us to see bet, so he expects to be getting value out of all of our random ace hands that lose to his current two pair hands. Two pair, top pair check raising. Not all the top pairs. Let's take some of these out
Agree.
of his check raising range. Ace 10? I don't think ace 10 is check raising. Ace queen and ace king, I think, are check raising, is what I'll say. I'm going to
I
limit,
agree.
take out a good portion of his top pair range for sure. Let's see, pocket pair below. I don't think any of those are check raising at this point. He appears from his stats to be pretty flop honest. So I'm going to say that he's got mainly a value hand. Open ender? It's
Could be for
possible.
one street.
One street he could be doing it, try to get us to fold, but
Nice.
hoping to hit if he has.
Guys, if you are also following along, and I guess some of you are, it's really imperative to pause in between, even if you're watching the stream with me, pause in between and just try and think how you would talk about this, how you would think about this, how you would figure this out. Like, we are talking about being flop honest, so what it means to me, I just pause for a moment and think about it. When he's talking about what's going on ahead, and whether somebody is going to call with open ended, we have to make a judgment. Yes, it makes sense. Like, does this merit them calling, or them betting, or them check raising, or them taking the lead for the remaining streets? So, as of my experience of 13 days of hand reading with Sky, I can very easily predict from my end that it could be so for one street, and take it from the turn. If the turn helps, then probably we can still check call, or go on the aggressive side if we complete it. Um, and if we get some showdown value, again we have a marginal made hand, so you can just continue check call mode and not be too aggressive, since we have some showdown value with our hand. All right, so
As
let's
Jack
continue.
10 right here, or 7-6. I mean, he could stack us with a pretty good turn card. Gut shots? I don't think those are check calling gut shots. Nope, nope, nope. So open ender, yeah, that's it. Holy cow! Look at that. We've taken him down. Um, uh,
All right, so let me see what other hands I'll include. Hmm, interesting. Let me put all the hands in our tool as well. There we go. Flop. Ace of diamonds, nine of hearts, eight of clubs. All right, and MP.
we've removed 78.
All right. So he says no middle pair is gonna check raise. All right. Tens are very much in his range, which is the second pair. If they don't have an ace, they still have the second pair uh, on the board as of now, and they may want to protect, or if we don't have an ace, they would want us to fold, which means probably I'll include tens for one street of check raise aggression. And obviously nines and eights are check raising as sets. Under pairs are not doing it. Agreed. Big time. System got a sorry to interrupt. Yeah, yeah, please go on. What happened? There's no interruption at our end. It's live, absolutely. Just go on. Say whatever you want to say. Any inputs, feel free. No issues. Jack 10. Jack 10, yes, indeed, like we talked about. Jack 9 suited with backdoor. I don't think so. Queen 9, I don't think so. Queen 10, gut shot, I don't think so. Queen Jack suited. Nope. Nope, not happening. King Queen not happening. Case 1, you have King 9 suited. You c bet and he 3 bet shoves on the same board. Are you calling? Absolutely not. Nope. Even top pair is tough call. Hi Prem. Don't know. This is not a great review, but yes, this is fun study. If you would like to comment something good, please feel free to go to Sky's channel and comment. Love from India and stuff like that. Probably, if you are feeling, like expressing it, please go and express your gratitude. Pokerstrategy.com. I mean, what? This is not poker strategy. This is smart poker study. Yeah, absolutely. This site is free. This is, I think I've included it in the description of this video. Please check it out. The hand reading series, day 1 through 66. And by all means follow. They have a lot of content that you can begin learning with. And as I would recommend, if you find it useful, and when you make money off poker, after you apply a few of these things, consider getting something from them. Or at least donating whatever you can to express that gratitude, since we are learning from them. As I intend to get their How to Study Poker Volume 1 and Volume 2 books from Sky, I intend to purchase them and probably share a few chapters with you all. Again, yeah, seek the permission from Sky, the same way I sought permission to share these videos, although these are free, but we are utilizing them to study together. But then ultimately, my intent is to introduce all of you to these wonderful study resources. And second one is to actually put that habit in me to make the most of study sessions. Case 2, you have 7-10 suited, same board, turn comes queen of diamond. You have 2 overs, but uh, no, with 2 overs. Okay, 2 overs on the board. You have an open-ended with flush draw. Are you calling a 3 bet shove? Um, Abhishek, if I have 7-10 suited, I'm not so happy about the flush draw. I would rather be uh, like, I would not bet and I would not like being thrown off that bet with a jam, because we don't have a nutted hand to go ahead with that flush draw with 2 overs on the board. So again, it would be heavily player dependent. If they're insanely crazy and if they have like blue mark on my on my on my player note list, then probably I'll make a call. But it is a losing call in my opinion, and you are only going to hit flushes to make your nutted hand, which is again, if we have only one street left, 9 flushes and an open-ended straight draw is only like what, another 8. So 15 to about 30% equity, and I don't think it makes sense to put all your chips in for that 30% chance of winning. Yeah, heads up and the villain is loose aggressive. Yeah, then probably I would go with it. We have then enough equity if we are heads up alone. But then again, I know that it's a marginal spot and it's not like we are heavily favorite. So I would not go out and bet with a flush draw on the turn, which is not yet completed. Probably just, check call, or if we are out of position, we are definitely check calling. And if we are in position, again, it becomes slightly different in terms of how I chose to open and play, and how do I see their check raises. If they are check raising way too often, then I'm calling. If their check raises are not that often, I'm not calling. All right. Prem says, "Hey Abhishek, welcome to the stream again. Quick question: in a feature tournament, until how many blinds?" All right. First of all, feature tournament is same as just another tournament. It doesn't matter whether it's a feature tournament, a friendly tournament, or a free roll tournament. In my opinion, it shouldn't matter. If you are worried about what to do in a feature tournament, first of all, there is problem number one, if I may call it that. Please address it and just say in a tournament, until how many blinds you can shove face cards. Oh, all right. About this, probably it needs a whole session on its own. I don't think shoves with face cards can directly be discussed like that. It depends. If you are like yeah, we can tell you something that's very generic and very applicable. If you are down to 10 bigs and you have king queen suited, middle position or even early position, yeah, it's a shove. I mean, that comes in push shove range. But when we start going beyond 10 big blinds, things are not that simple, because your tournament life is at stake. Although you shouldn't make very nitty or very conservative decisions because of that, but still you have to act considering that your shove is intended to get a double or intended to collect the blinds. So many things come into picture. So it's a huge topic. I may suggest a few videos in the next video tomorrow, or by then I might just share a few links that you can watch, where much better and much more qualified people can talk about it. But right off the bat, don't think about feature tournaments in a separate bucket of consideration. And about shoving hands, watch the video that probably will put a link in tomorrow. All right, thanks.
Percent of his pre-flop range based on this strong check raise on an ace high.
I think after 12 or 15 shoving range, actually, in many cases, even 12 is a stack where you can raise fold. That's what I have studied from. Like, I have subscribed to a poker coaching channel, the premium service for a month, and there I've been attending a few webinars where discussions on 12 bigs being an open raise and fold kind of a stack. So it's not all black and white, but yes, to simplify, until 12 bigs you can push, fold, shove, or fit or fold. And about 15 or so, yeah, you shouldn't be really shoving your stack, even if you have king jack, queen jack, or whatever, in early position, middle position. Those are not shoving hands. That's true molecule. Welcome to the stream.
Board in a 3-bet pot. After all, I mean, the pot is really big. This is a really big check raise. 42 hands, 21.5.
All right, so let me also remove you.
Pretty narrow range right here, man.
All right.
21.5, 42 hands.
Oh, you have been here only. Okay, sorry.
42 hands. Okay, cool. Yep.
Let's
so this
continue
time,
then.
I mean, we're still. No, actually, no, we're not. Now that we've filtered it, we're way down in equity, only 22%, if we do have the tens. But the fact that let's see, we're not ranging myself fully, but let's see what we have here. Am I really betting and then calling with pocket tens? I think I could. One street, we have position. He might check, and then we can just check behind on the turn, and then he could have just been bluffing, or we could continue with another bet to try to bluff him off of a hand on the turn. Yeah, I think I could. Tens, jacks, queens, and kings could all bet call here at least one street, versus a super loose aggressive guy that could be on winner's tilt. Runner's high he could be on. Oh, and I re-raise. Holy cow. No way. I don't have tens. I have ace king. Or aces. Ace king or a set of aces. One of the two. I did 3-bet pre. Yeah, I like my hand right here. And he just calls. Interesting. So we're actually going to probably narrow this down a little bit more. Wait a second. Upon his call, 21 only 4 to go. It's really easy for him to get the remainder of our stack by just calling right here. He doesn't have to let us know he has a set. Or he probably has a set of 8s or 9s and is concerned that we have a higher set, like a set of aces, because we 3-bet pre-flop. Yep. So let's see what we can do with this thing. Sets, 2-pair, top pair, open ender. Actually, all of those could check raise and then call. He doesn't have to shove with an open ender. He could check raise call. I'm going to keep him on the same range. I am. Keep him on this exact same range. Oh, I changed my cards and that changed these cards. Darn it. I just got to leave them as 10s. I forgot because that removes. If we had an ace, that blocks a lot of his ace X combos. So we can't do that. We got to keep the 10s. If we start off with the 10 or the 10s, we got to keep it there. Even though that's not a hand I would be doing, that'll change the whole hand reading thing here. Actually, no. If we change it on the flop, it doesn't change anything. Because we have his flop range set right here. Now, if we wanted to change our card on the turn, that would make a difference because that totally changes his flop range. But us having this didn't change the range that we saved for him here. Even though we have ace, king, or pocket 10s, he still had 256 combos in his range pre-flop.
All right.
So let's change that. It actually has 33 combos because now we have an ace blocker. If we 3-bet, I really think we have an ace or a set. But quite often we have ace, king right here is my guess. 18.2%. So we removed 88% of his, or 82% of his range. Pretty darn good from his pre-flop range.
Will ace king re-raise here? That's what I'm trying to think. Like when you bet and get raised, there are not too many hands that you beat over here, which are gonna call your re-raise. So unless he has aces, does not really make sense to me. Ace 9 suited also possible, but then again I don't think that's 3-betting pre. So this is going to be interesting.
Gravy. So I'm liking this right here. I mean, the fact that I raise versus loose aggressive guy, I've got a hand that I like, and I'm not going to give up. Guaranteed. There ain't no way I'm folding to a shove right here by him. He checks. I expect a shove.
Nice.
I shove, and then he calls. Good. So at this time, I am not going to necessarily. Yeah. Okay. So at this time, I am betting, and I am expecting him to call. Like, I don't think he's check raising and then calling and then folding on a 4. That 4 doesn't help anybody. It doesn't complete any kind of draw at all. If he had an ace king and now I have an ace 4 and I beat him, but highly unlikely that 4 helped either of us. So what is he giving me value? Assuming I'm betting for value here, not trying to get him to fold his hand. Assuming I'm betting for value, what is he giving? What is he calling me with? He's calling with his sets. He's calling with his 2 pairs. Is he calling with all these top pair hands? He's calling with those, yeah. I don't think now he's calling with this open-ended straight draw at this point. No. So really...
So all the draws are busted.
Didn't put the card down. 4 hearts.
Even the 1 card is there. Yet to come.
Let's keep that there. Okay, good. So this is on the flop. Now the 4 of hearts hits on the turn. Now we got to take a look. He's not calling with the draws. Not an all-in. Possibly with the flush draw. What are those? Jack 10 and 7. Oh, yeah, they're open-ended plus a flush draw. Okay, he's calling with those. Yep. So actually, we didn't take too much out of his range at all right now. On this turn card right here, he has 82% of his prior street range. Pretty decent. 82% and 27 combos. So we only removed 5 combos here. But this is the range that we expect him to continue against us with. 82%, I think it was. Yep. Yeah, we expect him to continue with this range, which if we do just have top pair, we're actually a dog. We're barely ahead at this point because he
Hmm.
has the possible draws and weaker top pairs with the ace queen. But we're just barely ahead, not too much at all, 57%, which is better than nothing. I mean, the fact that we have the best hand 57% of the time, I think it's worth a value bet for less than a pot size bet. We
Yeah.
have a 2/3 pot right here. Yeah, definitely worth it. So let's see what he has. The 5 doesn't help either of us. He has ace 10 offsuit.
Ooh,
Oh wow, I took that out of his range. I thought he wouldn't be. I
ace
thought that
10
he
off.
would not make the play he did on the flop with the ace 10. I thought it'd be ace king. So I took too many hands out. I guess I should have realized that he is so loose aggressive, but he's pretty flop honest, and this is a 3-bet pot. But maybe because it's a 3-bet pot, it's a lot more money worth fighting for.
Right.
So maybe that's why he made that. He check raised and then called with an ace with a real crap kick.
Cyclops, yeah, indeed. 14th, yeah, one every day. So today is 14th. We plan to catch up probably tomorrow on a lot of episodes because I intend to finish hand reading exercises by May, end of May. All right. So it was really unexpected for them to continue with ace 10 off. But then again, given that they are loose aggressive and they hit their ace on the flop, if they are a little bit of a non-believer that our three bet could be with kings or queens or jacks or tens, and we try and check raise, assuming that they don't have an ace because they are loose aggressive. If that much of I know might have happened in their head, they would have ended up calling and raising with ace 10. They did not have any other real draw or a redraw with 8 9 10, runner straight, but apart from that I don't think it's a very good series. I watched it years ago. Very nice. All right, we are catching up on time with Cyflops, so soon. If you know what I mean. All right, but with ace queen, was our play good in this case with a 3 bet and just a top pair? We could be against sets. We got check raised, so we re-raised it on the turn, on the flop. That's kind of ballsy with ace queen off, in my opinion. But then again, if we have that kind of a read on our player or opponent, probably those raise and re-raises are good enough to extract max value, which is what Sky did on this hand. Another part of poker, expect the unexpected, just join. Well, um it is
I guess
a little bit unexpected because for top pair, would you just go in with almost what, half of your stack? And this is a cash game. This is not even a tournament. Like, you are actually playing money, and you want to make max value, or you want to give up when you see a 3 bet pot is getting charged this much. Like, you want to see the flop game. The only thing you can do is see your own set of hands and compare accordingly. Yeah.
rep this if he has less 90 feels like two thirds. Yep, 2/3 pot exactly.
So you see what happened is they checked on the flop, and we bet 2/3.
Oh, and then he makes a
A min click raise on the flop with ace 10 off.
min raise here, huh?
And get
Ah,
this.
he could be on. Well, he is pretty flop honest in this instance. So
Yeah.
when
That's
he
that's another key aspect when we have a read and we sort of believe some of the stats. At least being flop honest is a stat that you can believe in, because if the c bet calling or c bet folding percentages are not beyond 40s for the betting, and definitely below 30s for calling, and like 60% of their hands they're folding on the flop, and if they're check raising this kind of a flop, it does throw us off, and sets our expectation a bit higher from their hand. Like you're saying, they probably have eights or nines, and they're scared that we might, I don't know what they're scared of, but they want more money in the what, probably.
check min raises, it really does feel like value. It feels like a
Yeah.
set.
Yeah, see, so that was the expectation, and I'm not sure about the other. All right. So it means he can even call three bet with ace nine. Exactly what I'm talking about. Like their three bet calling range is like way too wide, I guess. Ace nine, as he's not folding ace ten, just keep taking call. And yeah, in ace nine or ace eight, he would have flopped top two pair and were dominated. And yeah, that's true. That's true.
That
Oh, that's an interesting aspect. Like I always keep it in mind. Like if we have ace ten and if there's 7 6 9 ace on the board, there's so many more hands that beat us. Which with ace X, like ace X suited, ace seven, ace nine, ace six suited, all of them on the board and beating us, dominating us, even though we have ace ten, probably suited or offsuit.
possible two pair. He does have ace nine, ace eight in his range, and those ones.
And especially so for loose players who can make even like Abhishek said, even ace 9 off if they are calling. That's a bit worrisome. With tight players you can be a little bit more sure that they won't have a lot of garbage ace x's in their range, like if people are folding ace 8 off, ace 9 off, early position, mid position, RFI, that tells us that they're not in with such garbages, especially in a three bet pot.
Because we three bet pre-flop, he can expect us to see bet. Who's to his not all the top 10.
Yeah, so
From his stats to be pretty flop honest. So I'm gonna say
all this
he could
happened, all
he
right,
could those
and look at the
78 board in a
closing flop
42 hand,
action.
20. No, we do have the tens, but good one street we have position. Or yeah, I think we're loose aggressive re-raise. Holy cow!
Yeah, so this is a fun action. uh on 5.8,
Runners high he could be on.
on 5.8 we end up making it 8.7. I mean, this is also a bit of a interesting slash funny slash what is this kind of a re-raise going into the pot. Would you do this with ace queen on this flop? Like they really like that hand. Apparently they could have ace, like exactly like Abhishek said, they could easily have ace 8 ace 9 if they are known that with that loose. But then the current read is that they are pretty flop honest, so we probably want them to reconsider
Oh, and
continuing
I
in this pot.
re-raise. Holy of aces,
Yeah,
one of the
so
two. I did three bet pre. Yeah, it is
so that's
blocker.
the juice. And on the turn they check and we shove with ace queen, so that's also pretty interesting.
I am not going to necessarily. Yeah, okay. I don't think he's check 38-29. Who knows in the long run if I have like 500 hands on him now, he might have calmed down a little bit. This could be an effect of running so hot because as we saw at the beginning
Also, that should be one clue looking at their username, large balance.
of the hand,
Cheers, man, Arjun.
the
That's
guy
a good
had
one.
a full 3x stack. He could have just been running super hot, and so he's playing so much. Maybe in the long run, he ends up cooling down a little bit, and he ends up being like Big the Big up here to 28-24, or not anyone else here, but maybe like playing like somebody else. As of right now, though, he's really aggressive, and so I should have taken that into account. He's check raising with just a random ace
Yeah,
on this flop, or a
literally
weak
random
ace, ace
ace.
10, he's check raising, and then I'm calling as well, thinking that maybe I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, I think
He was
probably okay. He's gonna give his judgment. Let me give mine. He probably put us at kings, queens, jacks, tens, and probably not tens because he blocks tens. Kings, queens, jacks, and that's it. He did not believe that we had an ace, and he thought that we were trying to bluff them off. That's what I think. And they just, it's a case of them not believing we have an ace. And they have the top pair, and the board is dry, it's not connected, so they have it.
probably on like winner's tilt, runner's high from winning so much and thinking that his ace could still be good even though he's got a crap kicker. Because if you think about it, he's check raising me. What am I going to three bet on that flop, right? Am I going to three bet an ace 7, an ace 6, an ace 5, something that his ace 10 beats? I don't think so at all. Am I three betting pocket kings or queens where his ace is better? I don't think so. Am I three betting a random pair of nines like queen 9 or jack 9?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. So his tens right there, not tens, his ace 10 it wasn't ahead of anything I'm calling with.
Yeah, it
So
was. It
it
was.
feels to me like
Yeah, it was ahead of kings and queens and jacks, like I said. So probably, yeah, it's a case of you not trusting that they have an and them not believing that you have an ace. Probably, that's my read
he
of
was
this.
making a he was turning his top pair hand into a bluff. Like I was only folding complete whiffs in that instance. I was folding out everything that he beats, and I'm only calling with something that's better than him. So I think he
Mm,
was, I think he was trying to make a value bet that wasn't a value bet. He screwed up his value bet. Is my assumption on that one
all
right there.
right, super
Alrighty, well that
interesting.
ends that unsuccessful hand reading. Successful hand doubled up against him, but unsuccessful because I removed that ace 10, and I should have kept it in that super loose aggressive players range a little bit
Nah,
longer.
doesn't make
Alrighty,
sense. Doesn't make sense because that will end up taking their 100% range onto the turn and flop. If they are taking ace 10, I mean, what they are folding really from their range. All right, but not totally unsuccessful in that sense. I mean, yeah, we are supposed to remove a few hands, but mm, with loose aggressive players who tend to continue a lot, I feel it makes sense to continue our read of their range, keeping wider continuing range with them. That makes sense. Only tight players, only players who fold, players who uh, don't often go to showdown are the ones that we can very easily funnel down and reduce a lot of their combos street to street. All right. So, having said that, this was a really nice session, especially versus loose aggressive villain. It is something that I always wanted to do, and this was fun. So we should continue this tomorrow. Uh, the series and the other announcements are coming in soon, so just hold on, guys, and thank you so much for joining in. Bye bye, and keep reading your hands. We prepare for Ace Jack and Ace 10. Loose play shows 8 9 suited. That's out of syllabus. Exactly. Out of syllabus all the time, all the way.